Looks like I got it to work. Hey, Deb. Nice to see you. Looks like there's a bit of a delay. So, guess I'll just have to get used to it. We'll give it a few more minutes and we'll get going. Wonderful. Looks like I'm learning the computer. Been trying to figure out a lot of stuff. I finally figured out how to upload from my little Sony Cybershot cam and from the game cam. Hey, Parkway. Glad to see you here, man. Huh? Came up 3 times, huh? I don't know. Was that yesterday? I was messing with it yesterday. So, and I was trying to figure out how to put that little scheduled event up, and it got one thumbs up, so someone saw it. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It looked worse on the screen than the way it came out after I uploaded it. So it wasn't bad at all. I'm not complaining. It was free. Something happens to it, it's no big deal. So oh, okay, just did now, huh? Yeah, I was messing with it a little bit, trying to figure it out. So I think I figured it out. So we're all good. I'm learning little by little. So oh, my wife and I are talking about doing a couple of events in the future. So I'll discuss that too later on. So yeah, it was there was a lot of stuff going on, and I wasn't there for very long, lot of time. So it was work, 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 and so I can get as much of it done as possible. I pretty much got all of the important stuff done, and then a couple little odds and ends that I found along the way. So, you know, it's the way it goes sometimes. So, hopefully, we'll be able to move up there. We looked at a couple of properties up there and got ran off of one of them because there's still a tenant in it. So, Parkway, we will get there. I'm going to start at the beginning from the entire time from when we pulled up. So, I'm going to start from the beginning. We'll get there. So, yeah, Deb, a dump truck is pretty cool to drive. You almost feel invincible in it. But, you know, it is a Ford. So, but at least it's not a complete Ford. It actually has a Caterpillar motor in it. So, that's cool. It's not a complete Ford, but I'm not much of a Ford guy. I'm more of a Dodge or Chevy. So, oh, Stewie's doing good. He was happy to see us. So, he's doing good. Actually, I'm going to be letting him out here in probably about an hour. So, let him out, run around, get some exercise. He pretty much just hides out during the day when it's hot. He likes to come out at night. If I try and let him out during the day, he won't come out. He'll just sit in his little hole in the shade. So, hey, lady, fancy seeing you here. So, you got that right, Deb. Fancy seeing lady in the woods here. Glad you could make it. Makes me smile. So, you know what? We tried bananas, strawberries, raspberries, all kinds of stuff, and he only eats blueberries. So, northern Minnesota Sasquatch, how you doing? I saw your videos this morning, man. Pretty cool. Excuse me. So, yeah, it was a lot of driving, and if you blink too many times, you're driving home kind of trip. So, hey, Lewis, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? So, that's another possible prospect in the future with North County Bigfoot. We'll discuss here in a little bit. So, yeah, lady, I'm learning the computer. I'm playing with stuff. So if you guys just see like random stuff come off of my channel, just ignore it. Like if it's there for like a minute, I'm just trying to teach myself YouTube and how to do all this stuff. So yeah, yeah, nice West Coast day, but I'd still be out. I'd still rather be out in 9 degrees in the snow if I was up in Idaho. That's for sure. I'll gladly give this up very quickly to be out there. So it's just too many people for me, and it's starting to give me anxiety and stuff. So I try and stay home as much as possible. I just can't deal with it. Even going to the freaking grocery store, it just overwhelms me now. So I have an easier time dealing with freaking 8 to 10 foot tall, 800 to 1,000 pound beings out in the woods than I do in a grocery store in the middle of LA. So I can't explain it, but I don't know. So, all right, Bigfoot Forest, Vancouver Island, nice. So give it another minute, see if anybody else wants to pop in here, and I'll get going on my story. Um, Once I had time to sit down and think about things, I put a couple more pieces of the puzzle together, so they're pretty interesting. Um, it just it was I think it was Parkway SRG that commented on one of my videos that they're starting to recognize me or the vehicle or even all of us because it's always the same car. It's always a man getting out, a woman getting out, and two dogs getting out. So it never changes. For the past 4 years, it's been that way. And I think this is my wife's sixth time up there. This was my fifth time up there because I do remember going twice one year. So yeah, you're lucky. You are lucky, lady. At least you get to go home and actually feel like you can breathe. You don't feel a little claustrophobic being in a supermarket. So, you know, I gotta, I can actually hear my neighbor's toilet flush. So that's how close I am to my dang neighbors. It sucks. So hopefully, when my wife retires in about a little under 2 years, we're gonna pull the trigger on some property up there. And if we got to put my father-in-law's RV on the property and live in that for a little while, then so be it. Cause we're out of here. Hi, Marie Ann. Glad to see you here. Marie Ann has been quite the commenter on my videos. She's got wonderful things to say, and I'm glad she's part of the Forest Ninjas crew now. So she's a wonderful person. So glad to see everybody. So gonna go ahead and get going here. Um, After the 26 hours in a vehicle, driving 2 days up there, um, we pulled up. I think it was probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock. We pulled in the driveway and we pulled into the back where we always park. it's out of the way of the garage where my mother-in-law parks, and it's just easier. We have a little private access in the back and stuff like that, so we can go in and out without bothering anybody at night and stuff like that. It's really cool. I think it probably shows a little bit of it on the finger streaks video. So, um, my wife takes the dogs inside, feeding them, and I start unpacking the car in the back. I got the straps all undone and the tarp all undone and stuff, and I just, from the moment I went out there by myself to unpack the car, it was just this overwhelming feeling of being watched. And it wasn't from just one direction, it was from all around me. It was so bad, I actually yelled out in the woods, I've been in a car for 12 hours today. I'm not doing this, and I'm going to go do this up front. So I actually drove the car around to the garage, opened the garage, backed the car up to it, and unpacked there. And the feeling seemed to go away. Just exhausted. So we chit chatted the about an hour and a half. I went downstairs where we sleep and blew up the air mattress and got everything ready and stuff. My wife was exhausted because she's the driver in the family. She picked up her dad's truck driving jeans. So um, so getting everything ready and stuff. We go to sleep next day, and you know, asked my father-in-law for a list of things to do, and he hands me a piece of paper, and I just start knocking them off. Um, First couple of days was really quiet, and sitting out underneath the deck. I think it was the screams in the distance video where I just start hearing this screaming. It was it sounded like a horror film woman screaming over and over, and it wasn't a different pitch, it wasn't a different length, it was the same thing over and over. And it wasn't a coyote. I've heard coyotes, and I've got a story to go along with why there are no more coyotes there. um it over and over, then just stopped. um People say they with headphones they could hear it on that video, because I think I did get it a couple times. I didn't think my phone would pick it up. um so that was pretty much it for that night. I heard some rustling. I saw some deer walking through the woods also and stuff like that. Um, Next night was pretty quiet. Um, and then that following morning at 4 in the morning, I just dead. I'm dead asleep, and it was like one of those comedian movies where the dead body on the table just kind of springs up, and it was like that, and it was tapping on the window, and it was big fingers, and it was very loud. Um, and that's when I did the little video from the car sitting out in front of the doctor's office and stuff. And that night or that morning, I when we got back from the doctor, it was out in front of the back door to our room smoking a cigarette, and uh, my wife had called me. I looked over and I see the finger streaks coming down the window, and those finger streaks were pretty impressive. I mean, they were 3/4 of an inch wide. Um, so that was just the surface that made it up with, and there's still probably a little bit of a curve, which would make it a little bigger. Um, and if you hold your hand, actually, it would have gone like this. If you hold your hand with your fingers spread as far as you can, take a straight line and come straight down from your thumb to your bottom finger, was 8 inches. So that was a big hand. A couple days went by. I could hear. Actually, I think the next day I was walking through the woods, and I hear the two big wood knocks. And that's when I picked up my phone and decided to go for a walk, just drop everything and go for a walk. Um, Mountain lion, we do have cougars. They have been spotted in the area. Um, but I mean, I haven't heard one and I haven't seen one. So I guess it is possible, but I mean, it sounded like it had some power and it sounded like it was far away. So I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know. But uh, I had heard the two wood knocks. I decided to go for a walk. I don't even think I had anything on me. I just pulled my phone out and just started recording when I was walking down the side of the house, and I got that knock from a different direction than I heard the two knocks. Um, I don't know if it was the same being or the same thing moving and doing it again or what. I did get that on video. That comes up loud and clear. That was loud. That was not a shotgun. I hear shotguns out there. Hey Jeff Smith, glad to see you here. Um, I hear all kinds of the old neighbors used to have full auto. I heard that 50 cal. I heard that. I mean, it's a distinct sound when you hear a gun, and this was wood on wood for sure. Um, so I could there was the thing that night and on the left side if I'm underneath the deck I could hear something pace like quickly pacing back and forth up there, and I couldn't find out where. I didn't find any prints, but I could clearly hear something pacing back and forth. I think that next morning was when we were filling the garden boxes with the soil, and me and the landscaper. I'm not gonna say his name. I didn't ask him if he wanted to be on video or whatever, but um, we were standing there chit chatting, and we hear just this big snap, this big branch break, snap, crack. I mean, just quickly. Um, and both of our heads just flung around, and he's all, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah." He's all, "It sounded like someone just swinging a baseball bat, or it was big branch break, like someone had just grabbed something and yanked it down or something." And yeah. So he starts doing this number, like trying to look kind of up the hill underneath the canopy, and it looks like there's something really big and just blacker than black sitting there watching us. And I'm going, "It sure does, doesn't it? Because you can't see through those trees at the bottom, can you?" And he's all, "No." "What is that?" And I'm all, "We could have a watcher." And he looked at me and he just, "Really?" Just kind of like, he kind of knows what I was talking about, but he just didn't want to engage in the conversation. And it was at that point where he jumped back on the tractor and started grabbing soil. And we just went back to work. But for the next hour after that, he brought it up to me also. Just out of the corner of our eye, we just see something just super jet black, just blurs of just movement. And he pulled up next to me on the tractor. He didn't shut it off, and he was like, "Hey, out of the corner of my eye, I keep seeing these black streaks. My ad's probably running around here somewhere," which kind of led me to think that he knows about him. But he lives in Idaho, and I've found out that people in Idaho don't want to discuss that topic, and they won't discuss that topic. It is just a part of life, and they just accept it. So, very interesting on that fact. Um, and other than that, I mean, I went out walking around. Uh, I did find that trail that went from the end of our driveway right next to the road all the way back in between all the trees. Ended up at someone's garden, which is interesting. Why would a trail off the road kind of across our driveway in between all the trees just stop at someone's garden? So, very interesting. Um, I was talking to my brother in law and I was asking him kind of the geography of the land and stuff because I haven't really gotten my bearings yet and stuff with my um, compass yet. Figure out north, south, east, west, and where. Okay, this is east and this place is west or whatever. Um, Ask the geography, and I'm, well, where's Farragut State Park? And he pointed to his off. You go straight back to the property and keep going straight, you'll go right into it. Really? So, I mean, you want to find, they're there. I can guarantee you they're in Farragut. I guarantee you that. They've got a straight shot into people's yards and houses, and there's a lot of stuff they could be exploring, over in that direction. So, um, it was, for what little I did, it was awesome. It was awesome. Oh, I did forget one of the walks. Um, I think it was the long walk where I ended up in someone's garden and I was coming back. Uh, I had come out just past the kill box, um, and right when I hit the back of the boat, I was walking parallel on the left side of the boat, and right when I got to the nose of the boat, like towards the barn, I got this, and I just swung around, and there's nothing there. I sat there, I looked, I walked back there, I busted out my phone, and it was, the first thing that came to mind was bear. That's what came to mind. But there was nothing there. I didn't hear any movement. I didn't hear nothing. So it, it's just one of those things. I, the tapping on the window. Oh, the tapping on the window. So our dog Monkey, he's 12 years old now. Never once has that dog ever slept in the same bed with us. Ever. He'll lay on the bed with us, but when he's tired, he'll get down and he'll go in his bed. After the tapping that morning, that dog insisted on sleeping right in between me and my wife in the bed every night until we left. As soon as we left and got to the hotel on our way home to Klamath, he was right back in his bed. So that right there is freaky. Um, there was one time I took the dogs out. I think it was probably about 10 o'clock, before I finally lay down and go to sleep for sure, to go to the bathroom. And I took them out one at a time, and I had taken Monkey out. And if you're standing at the back door, like you just walked out the back door, would have been the hillside up to the right, towards where we parked the car. Um, the dogs just, I mean, as soon as they got out and got out on the lawn, their heads just came up and were staring at that hillside. and they both did the exact same thing. Their head was staring at that hillside, and they were both trying to pull me up that hill. And I'm like, no, we're cool. We're cool. We ain't got. We're just out here to go potty, guys. But they would not take their focus off of that hill that night. Um, Pretty interesting. All that stuff in the front yard, uh, all the logs and stuff. I cleared. That was the main part of what I did last year. That part was spotless. So there was nothing down. There was nothing broken. It was clean, and a couple of logs had been cut with a chainsaw, and you could see the discoloration from the one on the log to the ones that I cut the previous year. The ones I cut were a lot darker. And I asked my father-in-law, "Hey, anybody been out there cutting trees down, or did you hear anything fall?" And he's all, "No, that place should be just as spotless as it was when you left it last year." Oh, got to clean it up again. So, um, yeah, and they made giant ground X's, and then that one that was suspended in between the X. I mean, weaved around and right in between other trees. Um, Very interesting. Very interesting. A lot of changes. The kill box doesn't look like it's been destroyed. It's been destroyed pretty much. They haven't used it. The trail I had found that led up to the teepee, that had been all buried. I don't think they're using that route anymore. I think they're more left and up, um, through that trail from the driveway. I wish I had more time out there. I can't wait till. Hey, Cryptid, glad to see you here, buddy. Um, Wish I had more time. I can't wait to move up there. You know, so it's they're there. My mother. I've actually had. I think Deb Woods. You commented this on one of the videos. If my mother-in-law and father-in-law have seen anything, um, they've lived up there for like 37 years. Actually, on that property for like 37 years. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what to pay attention to. They're not very open-minded in that sense. They just do what they do and go about their day just like normal. Um, they just don't really care. My brother-in-law kind of seems like he may have a little bit of an interest, you know. So that'll be cool. Maybe someday and stuff he'll be driving down the road and see one cross the road and call me and be like, "Dude, you're right, they're real." You know, it's all it takes. Deb, you're absolutely right. I think it may be along that lines a little bit too. That my father-in-law tried. That we were sitting at the dinner table, and he breaks out and says, Kevin, your whole Bigfoot thing, I think that's a bunch of hokey pokey. I don't think they have any DNA. They ain't got no hair samples. They ain't got this. They ain't got that." And I went, "Oh boy, here we go." Well, matter of fact, and I just went off on him. And he's all, "Calm down, calm down. I'm just playing with you." You know? So, I don't know. I don't know. I know, Deb. I've just been so busy. I mean, lady, D. Ugh. So busy. I had to put off some jobs to go to Idaho, and then the whole Idaho thing. I got to get back and get those jobs done. It's just been crazy. Um, I got to go take care of the registration and smog on my truck and do all this other stuff. So it's just been nuts. I will definitely email you though, and we'll set something up. So Lewis from North County Bigfoot is on here. And when we got back, my wife says, I think I want to go do some camping trips. Really? She's all, but I want to sleep in the car. So, okay, fine. So after I cleaned out the car from Idaho, she came out and she's all, well, let's see if we could lay down in here together with the dogs and sleep. And we did. We laid the seats down and stuff. And, like, I can get like a little 3-inch memory foam pad and custom cut it too. So that'll be better. Um, and then I brought that up to Lewis. And he's all, dude, you're like an hour and a half away from me, dude. Why don't we go camping in like Idlewild or something? And hey, we may do that. You know, if we can both schedule it properly, um, I think we're gonna hook up and go do some squatching somewhere together with North County Bigfoot. Um, that'll be one of the trips. She wants to go camp on the beach in Santa Barbara somewhere. I forget the name of the beach. So that, and then she wants to do a camping trip in Humboldt for like a week. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of Brown Dwarf. See you later, Deb. Glad you can make it. Good to see you. So Humboldt camping trip. Get a hold of Brown Dwarf and see what a good camping spots there are available up there. And we go from there. It'll be pretty cool, So I mean, I was really kind of surprised somehow. I said she wanted to go camping. Okay, we'll go camping. Are you sure you want to? You know what's out there. She's all, nah, they ain't gonna hurt us. And I believe that. I completely wholeheartedly believe that if you go out there with good intentions, you'll get good experiences from them back. So, you know, um, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna start reading this chat. See, chit chat. People I come across don't think they exist. Hard time comprehending intelligence beings are how much more direct connection to the energy around them. You're absolutely right, Northern Minnesota Sasquatch. Absolutely right. You know, they just people just get involved in their everyday lives, and it that you get. That's all you can do is just think, just see what's there. You know, so you're absolutely right. Um, there is definitely a lot more around us in this world than 98% of the population see, for sure. Absolutely. So it's uh rock hounding with Bigfoot posted a video, I believe yesterday or Friday or yesterday, and saying that him and his friend Dustin, who goes out all the time, they were just, I think they were walking back to the truck and they heard footsteps behind them, like at a fast rate, heavy footfalls, and they both literally, they were 15 feet apart. They both stopped and turned around, and there was nothing there. That's the exact same thing I experienced in my research area down here in Southern California. And I believe that video is called "Footsteps in the Gravel." I mean, when that happened, my wife she was really sick uh, on our anniversary weekend, which sucked, but um, she asked me to go get her something from the car. So I walked out of the hotel room. I was in the car. I was literally leaning over the passenger back door getting something for my wife. And I heard three clear, distinct footsteps come through that gravel. And I got this really bad chill up my spine, like I was in serious danger. Someone was running up behind me to mug me or harm me or something. Turned around, there's nothing there but that pile of gravel with a single stick stuck in it. So he also found piles of dirt with single sticks stuck in it. So I don't know. There's a lot of I've watched a lot of other people's stuff, and the similarities on it with stuff I've experienced. It's just it's not coincidence. Let's see here. Yeah, I think the populations are a lot bigger than what's imagined. Um, I don't think they're rare. I think they're just very elusive and they're very good at what they do. You know, um, we live in society and civilizations and stuff like that. You know, we have technology and we know how to use it. And we're good at what we do in our environment. They are also good at what they do in their environment because that's where they live. Hey Ken, good to see you here, buddy. You know, it's absolutely. They're a lot. I think they use a bigger percentage of their brain. I think they've learned how to use that bigger percentage of their brain to stay out of sight and all that stuff. And I think there's a lot more to these beings than is ever even imagined. So let's see who else we got here. Boots on the ground with Barb. All right, glad to see you here, Barb. We're just chit chatting and talking about a little bit of the Idaho stuff. And so, one thing I did do though before we left, is actually the Friday before we left, uh, I walked out there with nothing and no lights, no nothing, and I said goodbye. I said, "Hey guys, you know, I'm sorry this was so short. We were just kind of getting to know each other, and uh, but I'm leaving tomorrow, but I will be back. So don't forget me, you know." So kind of any, I'll admit it. I talk to them. I do. I think it makes them at ease, and they know that they've been found out, and they no longer need to be as stealthy or hidden as they need to be. So I just I talk to them. Uh, hey, call me crazy. I don't care. I just don't care. So let's see here. Yeah, I got up here in SoCal. I was making my way through the barricades. They decided to put up to keep me out, and I got a growl with a quick branch break, and I just threw up my hands, and I said, "Hey, I just want my camera. That's all I want. So you can go get it for me and bring it to me, or you can let me back there to go get it." And I didn't hear nothing, and there was no response, but I could hear a little bit of rustling up on the hillside about 50 feet away. And, all right. And I just got this overwhelming feeling like it was about to turn sour and not go in a direction I didn't want the whole experience to go. So I said, all right, I'm out of here. I'll be back, though. We're not done with this. So I'm going to work on getting back up there again, see if I can't get back to that spot and see if my camera's still there. So they seem to be pretty protective of that area. So I don't blame them. I think there's children involved. So it's another. My list is growing of things to do with all the camping trips and getting back up to my research area. And there's another place I want to go check out, which I had picked for my original research area, and then ended up finding this place just kind of on a whim. So I don't know if they're leading me to these places or what, but um, since I'm learning all of this new YouTube stuff, I'm actually going to have to go back into my folders. And there's a couple of pictures on the Idaho channel that are actually of Southern California, Palm Springs to be exact, of structures, huts built in between rocks and stuff like that. And they need to transfer those onto this channel. And we can do another discussion about those too once people see them. So, um, hey, Dominic, glad to see you here, buddy. Pamela, you too. Glad you guys make it. Wow, didn't know I was this popular. How cool. Make me feel like I actually have friends. This is wonderful. So, I appreciate all of your support through everything. So, every single one of you. So, you guys are great. You know, like Lady in the Woods says, man, we're family. So, you know, family takes care of family, I guess, right? Well, yeah, it's been quite, you know, I've been into this subject for probably 11 years now. What really did it for me was the enhanced analytical version of the Patterson Gimlin Patty video. And then I found Todd Standing's videos of Jake and the other ones and stuff like that. And I spent 6 years doing theoretical research, watching all the videos, listening to all the stories, putting everything together. Okay, this is when you go, I guess, this is what you got to look for. This is, you know, what they do. This is this is that. These are the house, these are this. So before I ever even went out in the woods, I had been studying for 6 years. I'm not claiming to be a expert because technically there are no experts in this field. I don't care what people tell you, there are no experts. Not one. So, um, it, some people have better clues than others. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it was the first time I was ever able to get out somewhere was northern Idaho. I never even thought about checking my local mountains. Never even occurred to me until I found North County Bigfoot. And then after that, I was like, okay, I want to go look. I want to go look in my local mountains. And I think I found them. So, yep, North County Bigfoot sent me over the edge, so you can blame Lewis. He is the source of all my craziness. But that's alright. He's a great guy. He's a great guy who does great research, and I think he's definitely proven that they are way down in Southern California, which would make the stories of people seeing them in Mexico also fairly legit, too. Parkway, why is the moon driving you crazy? Is it too bright for you? Yeah, no, it's always his fault. Always his fault, lady. Yes, Martha, we love Lewis. Yeah, we just. Hey, lady, so tell me, how do I do this moderator thing? I don't think I need moderators because, but just as a precaution. So, you're an animal. What is your animal? What exactly are you? Yeah, Jeff, sometimes I get that feeling, sometimes I don't. When I was doing that long walk, I think it was like 33 or 34-minute video or something like that, where I ended up in the people's garden. Um, I was walking back. Not that, almost that entire time, I didn't feel like I was being watched until I got into one area and I started to panic for no reason. I knew where I was going. I just had this urge of panic come over me and I had to leave. And once I got past a certain area, it went away. So I think it just depends. Okay. So go to the person's name. Just the little circle icon, because that's where the arrow stays. Oh, what's this? Ah, no, yeah, three dots on the side. Okay. All right. Wonderful. See, I have learned so much stuff this week. Monkey, cut it out, Bubba. It ain't dinner time yet. Interesting. Cool. Thanks. This is actually fairly simple to do. Fairly simple to do. I'm learning. I'm learning. Yes, well, I know Martha's good at this. She don't take Matt Niven's shit. So, Martha's really good at her moderating skills, so very cool. You guys see so much help. So much help from everyone. Cool. Hey, I'm learning. Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff this week about YouTube and everything. Actually, I don't know anything about the moon phases parkway. Um, but the weather for sure. Um, for sure, because I when we got there, come here, come on, come on, butthead. Um, the weather though, for sure. It was nice out, and we were getting you know, calls and howls and screams and branch breaks, and then it snowed one morning for like 2 hours, and the temps dropped from like 52 degrees down to like 27 in the matter of just a couple hours, and it got quiet, and until it started to warm up, and then things would happen again a little bit, and then it snowed again, and it got quiet. So I definitely Parkway. Yeah, I do hunt. I bow hunt. Um, Unfortunately, I never seem to make it up to Idaho during bow hunting season. So, and I haven't needed to in the last couple of years. I don't do it for sport. I only do it for survival and to keep my father-in-law's deep freezer filled with meat just in case they get some funky snowstorm and get snowed in and can't get out. So I want to make sure they have plenty of food. Um, That's it. Otherwise, I'm just shooting at a target lately. So they still have plenty of meat in the freezer. So um, yeah, the weather. I think they're just like all the other animals. They just find somewhere to hunker down, stay dry and warm, and they just chill out. You know what I mean? Hey, K-Pup, what's going on, buddy? Wow, getting the whole crew here. Hey, Parkway, have you been in contact with Mason the last couple of days? Well, I know moon phases have a big effect on ocean tides and stuff like that, and big bodies of water. Um, so who knows? Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's been really busy. So finally had a few hours today and figured, hey, jump on here and talk about the stuff that occurred in Idaho. Sorry, I'm looking at my tablet. Uh, Cat Bigfoot saw me too. Just posted another video. I'm sure all of you know all about her, but she's got some great stuff. She's got some great stuff. So, so, one thing I completely missed in all of that Idaho excitement. Hey, old bear, what's going up, buddy? What's going on? Glad to see you here. So that whistling contest, I had gotten up at probably 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I was actually out in the barn at by 6 to work on the dump truck. I was installing those LED lights in the front bumper. The day before, I had completed the backup lights on the back of the truck, and I was cutting holes in the bumper. The barn is far away from the house that I can make that kind of noise and it don't bother nobody. It's great. I love it. And probably somewhere around 7 o'clock, I'm fitting these things. I'm marking holes to put the bolts in and stuff to make them in there. And I hear, huh? Just kind of went back to what I was doing, and I hear it again and again. And that's when I got up. And I never stepped outside the barn. I just stepped up to the door, kind of behind it, and just kind of whistled out. And it whistled back. And I whistled again, and it whistled back. Um, and that I was like, this is, I don't know what that is. I've never heard any birds make that noise around here. Um, and what kind of bird, other than a parrot, would whistle back if you whistle at it? You know what I mean? Um, and that I literally just pulled my phone out of my pocket, got it all set up, and I just stuck my phone around the corner of the barn door. That's the view you see, and I'm still hiding, so I never showed myself. I just stuck my phone around the barn door and was filming like that as I'm whistling back and forth. And I didn't even bother to get my phone out earlier because I honestly didn't feel it was gonna last long enough to do that, and it freaking did. I was so happy. And then as soon as I could, I think I made my wife drive me down to the supermarket a few like 6 miles down so I can get service so I could upload that video. And she was all jacked on it too. She's I don't know what that is, but it's definitely answering your whistles. She's I've never heard that sound out here. My father-in-law has never heard that sound. No one's ever heard that sound out there. I did. I got it on video. I didn't see nothing, But again, I was hiding behind a wall. I wasn't trying to show myself. I just wanted the interaction to keep going. Um, and Mason Whitty from the Sylvanic Cooperation, he's also the founder of the SRG. Um, he sent it off to a girl named Amanda, who's also works for Todd Standing and his cooperation and stuff, and she enhanced it, and it was it's even better enhanced. You can definitely tell it is a whistle. It is not a bird. It is a freaking whistle. Um, that's next on my list, and I'm gonna have to try and figure out how I can post those enhanced versions. I think she enhanced the knock I got on video after those two knocks, and then the whistling. And I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to get those on YouTube, because I mean you hear the enhanced version and it's just it, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I don't know. So you know, yeah, it was very, yeah, Parkway, very cold. We actually woke up one morning. It was 9 degrees, but it didn't bother me, man. The cold just doesn't bother me. I was out there in shorts and just this my light jacket, you know. Um, it's just it's a different kind of cold. I actually get more cold here in LA than I do up there in the snow. So you know, hey lady, are you multitasking? Hey old bear, are you up in Oregon? You know, I- I'm always I'm always driving through Oregon, old bear. So depends on how far off the beaten path you are. Maybe one of these times we'll have to make a little Agent Harms. How are you doing tonight? Glad to see you make it. This is cool. Got the whole frickin' family in here, man. This is great. There you go. There's another one on the list. You know, if Old Bear's in yeah, you are in Oregon. Well, it sounds like on our next Idaho trip up there or coming home, we're gonna have to make a little stop by you, buddy. So there you go. Another one added to the list. Boardman. We go right through Boardman on our way up to Idaho, Old Bear. Yep. We go right through Boardman. How crazy. Oh, another one added to the list. The list of things to do is growing. So I'm gonna have to start turning down some of these jobs so I can get out there and do some of these trips. Just kidding. I gotta make money. So gotta make money to live out here. Yeah, it was this whole adventure of Bigfoot in this mysterious cryptid bipedal being running around the woods. This whole adventure for me, I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change one thing. Not one freaking thing. It has been so freaking awesome. You know. Oh, there you go, old bear. You get a load coming to me, then you get a return load with me with you, and you just go spend some time with you, huh, old bear? Parkway, did Mason send you the enhanced versions? Because what it sounded to me like, when a kid does that, one of them sounded like that, like it was the lips. Hey Mason, how you doing? There's one I've been looking for. How's your wrist doing, Mason? And you said you broke your wrist last week or something. You know what, Jamie? I get. I would say definite equal amounts of action between SoCal and Idaho. Um, Sorry, my dog's back there going cuckoo. Um, I would say the ones in SoCal are more defensive, and the ones in Idaho are more curious. So, a buckle fracture. What exactly is that? Never heard of that. But yeah, I mean, as as for action between the two places, I get probably equal amounts. It's just one is I would say definitely SoCal is definitely more on edge and being more cautious than the ones in Idaho. So I think the reason being is that here in Southern California, they don't have the room they want to, do what they got to do. So whatever little bit they have, they're gonna keep. And the ones in Idaho, well, they've got Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Canada, millions of miles. You know what I mean? So I think that's where that defensiveness comes from. Well, it would definitely make sense that the young ones do make more mistakes, well, because they haven't learned, from mom and dad yet. So, oh, good, glad. So okay, so it's not completely broken. Good, good. Old Bear, what is that comment supposed to mean? I will trade one of my interactions for 10 of anyone's. I'm assuming they've been pretty scary events. So, yeah, you know what? I just think, they're gonna be different, just like people are different. Um, the ones that have the room to spread out and don't have to worry about hiding so much and can relax are definitely going to be a lot more mellow than the ones, say, here in Southern California that have a little bit of room and are constantly seeing us in their areas, and you know they're going to be a lot more on edge than the ones, say, in Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Canada, with millions. And so I definitely think the size of the areas have a lot to do with their attitudes. So, yeah, everybody go check out Mason Whitty. with Sylvanic and SRG and Parkway SRG. So go check them out. Go subscribe to them. You know, they're out there doing the boots on the ground too, man. Both of these gentlemen have found incredible things, um, incredible structures and stuff like that. And Mason's out there breaking bones for us. So, I mean, how much more dedicated does that get? So, you know, and hey, you know, if you're interested in joining us in this Sasquatch research group endeavor, go get a hold of Mason Whitty, and he's the founder, and see what's up. You know what? Jamie, I think weather definitely has a lot to do with their attitudes for sure. You know, just like again, just like people, when it's cold or it's hot, people just want to stay in their house and just not do nothing. You know, the same thing with animals out in the woods. When it's cold or it's hot, they just find somewhere just to hang out until it gets, cool, and they just go cruise around and stuff when they feel like it. Marie, Canadian Sasquatch. Um, I don't know. That's something you would have to ask Todd Standing or you know someone who lives up there. I could definitely tell you about Southern California or Idaho, but yep, blood, sweat, and squatches. Yep. We'll see you later, Ken. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Glad to see you here. Wait. Glad to see you here, Ken. You have a good night, buddy. Take care. So I definitely think weather and definitely affects their moods on a daily basis. Um, for sure, for sure. I mean, if it was 9 degrees and snowing out, I wouldn't want to be out there. No, I'm gonna go find somewhere to hide, and I'm just gonna chill out and try and stay warm. So Old Bear. That's an interesting. More reports of man squatches in Canada. Interesting. Interesting. So, it's been a rather interesting adventure for sure, and I can't wait to continue it. Um, my, I think Lady knows this. I made this comment on Lady in the Woods live streams that when I were able to buy property in Idaho, I'm going to declare it a Sasquatch protection area. So it's definitely going to be. I'm going to take it serious. I'm going to try and get a bit of land. Do you think Bigfoot can make fire and use it to cook and heat? You know what? I personally think they have the ability to discover fire and what it can be used for. However, I don't think they use it. Um, I know there's some people out there that have said they've seen them use it. You know, I think they have the ability to figure it out, Or maybe they already have figured it out and they choose not to use it because they've seen what fire does to their forests. So I think as a safety precaution, they choose not to use it if they already know what it is and how it's used. But they've definitely seen the devastation it causes when a forest catches on fire. I know for a fact they've seen that. So they may associate fire as a bad thing. Yeah, Mason, that would be freaking cool, man. We did uh you were sending me properties through my email while we were up there, and my wife found one that was 27 acres up on this beautiful hillside. Nothing but trees. Nothing but frickin' trees everywhere. And it's dirt cheap. And we're gonna we actually called the real estate agent and is possibly discussing some options for that piece of property. So I don't know, nothing's set in stone yet, but we haven't. I know that there's no house on it. It's all right. We could just plop my father-in-law's RV on it and live out of that while I'm building the house. So not a big deal, but it was definitely squatchy. You're absolutely right, Marie Ann. You're absolutely right. That could be another reason why they don't use it. They know they've sure they've seen airplanes. They know that humans are flying around above them. Um, and they know if they have a fire, they're just easy to spot. They're freaking easy to spot. You know, you're absolutely correct. I think that's another reason. Um, in Barb, I mean, if you were 800 to 1,000 pounds, 8 to 10 feet tall, you'd probably have a pretty strange metabolism too. You know, but you would think something that big would need a lot of calories, especially during the winter, and apparently they don't. So raw food digests better, so why cook it? Yeah, Jamie, I agree. I think they are much too big to have a human type metabolism. I, I think I think you're right on that for sure. It's got to be different. It has to be. Yeah, carpenter. This I did carpentry, tile and granite, electrical, roofing, plumbing. I could build my own house by myself if I had the financial means to do so. So I've done it all. But yeah, Mason, you definitely, man. If it comes down to it, you're definitely. And I need the help, dude. You're definitely going to be recruited for that. So definitely going to be recruited to help build. Yep, Parkway too. It's a good way of putting it, Parkway. I guess humans have their own structures too, right? So, Old Bear, you think they do live in caves? I know that's a theory that's been tossed around. Some people say yes, some people say no. I say, hey, if it's out of the frickin' rain and you're staying dry, I was one of them, I'd be in a cave. You know what I mean? Why not? Sure beats sitting up against a tree out in the rain getting wet, cold, you know? So I definitely agree. Nice. Well, guys, sounds like if we do end up getting that property and building a house, sounds like it's going to get built very quickly, which is fine because the sooner we build it, the sooner we can enjoy it, and the sooner we can tell all the big guys out there that they're safe on that property, you know? So I think the hardest part of all of that's going to be walking around the property line, putting up no trespassing, no hunting, and don't feed the Sasquatch signs. So, right on. Yeah, northern Minnesota had some great freaking videos this morning. That was cool. You're probably right, Dominic. You know, I mean, they have to utilize caves. I just, it, I just don't see them surviving and thriving the way they have been without using caves. You know, what photo are you talking about, Mason? Nice. So there you go, Old Bear, right there, West Virginia. Actually, my father-in-law's from West Virginia, Old Bear. Kind of funny. She still has a lot of family out there. Oh, the trail cam photo. Yeah, I looked at it a little bit, but I got to figure out how to zoom it out and stuff like that. And I really want to get a closer look at it and stuff. But I just I don't know what set off the camera. I mean, I assume a bug could have flown by it, but it was so cold. I did not see one frickin' bug anywhere, even out in the dang woods. It was wonderful. That was definitely something I noticed. No bugs because it was so freaking cold. I not. It could have been a bug. I don't know. Um, I have all those photos in my game cam folder on the computer. Um, I kind of, as I was scanning through them, I gotta look at pictures before and after that one. So I I thought I saw something. It could just be my brain running away with me, but I'm definitely looking into that deeper though. You know, you're right, Barb. You're absolutely right. All right, old bear. Glad you can make it here, buddy. Can't wait for your next story, man. You come up with some great stuff, man. Especially like the interviews, the in-person interviews. Well, all right. See you later, old bear. This is I think more of the cavern isn't just a single cave. Parkway. Oh, I'm sorry, Barb. Yeah, I think more of the cavern systems than just a single cave, right? I think they're one of the they've got that urge to have like one way in and four ways out, you know? So, Barb, I think you're right. Not so much a single cave that just kind of dead ends and don't go nowhere, but the systems I think they definitely feel a lot more comfortable in, for sure. The lights on back there? No. Turn lights on. Alright. I just think it would be they gotta use caves. They gotta use caves somehow. Just seems like I don't know. Seems like a smart thing to do if I were one of them. Providing it was the right cave. You know? You know. Yeah, the trip to Idaho is very, very short. So, um, I think it was Parkway that got commented on one of my videos that they recognize. They're starting to recognize the car and us and stuff like that. You not once the entire time I was out there did I feel like I was in danger. I didn't have that feeling. Um, I definitely felt like I was being watched, but I didn't feel like I was ever in any danger. Yeah, Barb, we all have a lot of questions, no answers. All right, Mason. Yep, lots and lots of questions and no answers. But you know what? I think with the community we have and the dedication we have within that community, um, something's going to come about very quickly here. I think now, more so than say 10, 15 years ago, there is a lot more people interested in the subject, and there are a lot more people out there looking, you know? So I think as long as we can keep the drama to a minimum within our community and work as a team together, regardless, good stuff is going to come from that. Oh, bed under soil and leaves. I it's a good theory, and I wouldn't put it past you for a second. It may be one of the reasons why they stink. Who knows? But it just, I don't know. It seems like leaves and soil would keep them wet and moist, cold. I don't know. Until we see one do it, it's just all theory. Yeah, Barb, it's another reason too. The internet, we're a lot more connected. Yeah, we are a lot more connected and more easily connected together within the community. So, you know, I mean, we're all over the world. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to the community, excuse me, um, there is no bad evidence. There is no bad investigations. You know what I mean? Because everybody does stuff differently. Everybody thinks differently, and someone's idea in California may work better in Oklahoma, and someone's freaking idea in Maine may work better in California. But that's why we have this community. That's why we need to work together. You know what I mean? There are no bad investigations. There are no bad experiments. There are no bad. There's. It's you know where the topic is now. I mean, it's all theory. No one has any proof of anything other than there is something out there that we're looking for. So, you know, I definitely think the government knows a lot more than what they say, for sure. I wouldn't doubt if they've had a couple in captivity. So, but until someone gets that evidence, we won't know. So, but then again, if the person does get that evidence, they're probably going to suffer a lot of ridicule and degradation, and you know, I mean, look at Claudia Ackley. She's up at what's that, Crestline or Crest Ridge or wherever she is over by Lake Arrowhead. She'd never even been into the subject. Her and her daughter were out for a walk and she saw three of them. You know, her daughter saw it. Her daughter filmed them and she didn't even know. You know, posted them on Facebook. And next thing you know, I mean, almost got laughed out of their the area they lived in. You know? And that wasn't that long ago. But, like, here in LA, I wouldn't even, unless I know the person really well, I wouldn't even bring up the subject unless they pointed at my shirt or something I was wearing. Let them bring up the topic, you know? So, but in Idaho, I just get the feeling that everyone there knows about them. It's just the way of life. But they're not going to talk about it. You know, they don't want nothing to happen to them, you know? So, I think there's just a little bit of a protection thing going on in Idaho. And I think in LA, people just think you're crazy. So, occasionally you'll get that one person that says, "Hey, dude, I like your shirt. Dude, you into Bigfoot?" Matter of fact, that happened about a month ago at my wife's work when I was helping her trying to catch one of the cats at her work parking lot. Some dude in some work truck pulled up and he was looking at me and I was wearing, I think, my Bigfoot Lives shirt. And, "Hey, dude, I like your shirt, dude." And I'm all, "Yeah, you got any stories?" He's all, "If I had time to tell you, I would." So, he went into the supermarket, got some food, and left. I guess he had to get back to work. Unfortunately, he didn't get the story, so. But, can't wait to get out again. Hopefully, we can, hook up with North County Bigfoot, Lewis, go for a little camping trip up in Idlewild. Um, my wife and I were gonna do a little Santa Barbara trip with the dogs. Oh, okay, the giant fence around the property that we went and looked at, Parkway. Is that the story you're talking about? That was very interesting. That was quite an experience. I wish I could have gotten that property. I would have taken that fence down for sure. Well, I guess Parkway wants me to. Okay, a couple years ago, we were up in Idaho strictly to look at property. We spent 2 weeks driving around with the real estate agent looking at property. And there was one property that was literally I think they said like a 30-minute hike into Canada. That's how close it was. A 30-minute walk across the border into Canada. That's how close it was to there. Um, he was out there. He was finishing up his garage and siding it. And my wife and mother-in-law and father-in-law were in the house looking around and stuff like that. And I was outside because I noticed he had an old Dodge sitting in the garage. And I started talking to him about that. And I just kind of threw out there, hey, can I go walk around the property? He's all, yeah, go ahead. There's a stream over there, little creek. So I walked probably 40 yards through the woods, and it just came to a stop. Just came to a stop. And I start looking up, and there's these things must have been 12 inches wide, probably 10 inches wide, I-beams just driven into the ground, and they were up probably 20 feet. And there was a chain link, not just like chicken wire. This was like chain link fence all the way up. And I start walking down it, and I'm going, this thing goes all the way around the property. All the way around the property. A beautiful area. I loved it. I mean, the trees were freaking awesome. A lot of woods. I think it was like 16 acres or something. Beautiful house. And he had two little kids. I think they were like 5 and 7. And so I got walking back to the house. And hey, can I ask you? You got a minute, Can I ask you a couple questions about the property? And he comes down off a ladder. And yeah, what's up? I'm all, does that creek ever dry up? And he's all, no, it goes all year round. It's coming out of Canada, so it's all year round. It'll get a little bigger than that during after the winter, but I've never had any problems with it flooding or anything. And I'm going, what's the deal with the very overbuilt fence around the entire property? He said, animal problem. And animal problem, what, you got a lot of grizzlies coming down out of Canada? He's all, no, not exactly. You just keeping the animals out to keep your kids protected and give them a place to run? No, not exactly. Oh, well, not moose or elk or anything like that, because I know they can be really dangerous. He's all, no. And he pointed at my sweatshirt. And I was wearing my black sweatshirt with just the outline of a Bigfoot on it. And he turned around and got back up his ladder, and that was the end of that. So it was a very expensive endeavor to put that fence up. And it was probably very, very, very expensive to put that fence up because I can better part of 20 feet tall. And there was one section where I would say it was probably 30 inches in diameter, probably 65 feet long, 70 feet long, a giant log with the roots up on the chain link fence. So that was interesting. That told me exactly why he was selling the place. He told my wife and mother and father-in-law that they just wanted somewhere closer to the kids' school. But so I don't know. Maybe that they're Canadian Bigfoots are more aggressive. I mean, it was a 30-minute hike for a human across the border. A Bigfoot could probably do that in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Taking 8 foot steps the whole way. So interesting. You know, I never even told that to my wife until probably 6 months ago. She would have just freaked her out, especially at that time because she at that time she thought I was crazy for the whole Bigfoot thing, and it wasn't until she found the footprint in our local mountains that she really started to kind of ask questions and learn what to look for. And it's kind of cool because when she does get out there with me, she finds stuff that I didn't even notice. So it's awesome. It's just telling me that she's paying attention to what I'm telling her and she's applying it. And she's, you know, becoming more open minded to the whole topic. So, very cool about that. Now she wants to start doing camping trips. For years, I've tried to get her to go camping, and she wouldn't do it. Now that she's, I think, learning more about them and learning how to read terrain and how not to get lost and all this stuff, she's getting more comfortable with the topic. So, which is really cool, and she wants to actually go camping. So, providing that we sleep in the car with the doors locked, which is fine with me. I'd prefer a tent, you know, but I would like to see their hands touching the side of the tent. That would be freaking cool. That would be so cool just to have cell phone in the hand at night and just have the hands come down the tent. Oh yeah, Parkway. She also found that scat pile in at Farragut State Park in Idaho. I mean, yeah, she found that, and then I found the rocks and sticks back behind the sign, literally 8 feet away from that scat pile. Um, that scat pile was massive. I am not kidding. If I had taken that crap, I probably wouldn't have been able to sit down for a month and probably need a doctor for a few stitches in a very sensitive area. So, yeah, Martha, I mean, you just got to get over your fear. Like I said, there's you got to know what's out there. You got to be educated. You got to know how to conduct yourself out there because Mother Nature, if you ain't doing something that she don't like, she'll let you know. Trust me. Um, and going with somebody you're comfortable with also helps. So yeah, but I mean, when I go out here in Southern California, I am on edge. I'm keeping my act clean because those ones seem to be not aggressive but defensive. And if they don't want me to go into an area, they're gonna tell me that they don't want me to go into that area. Like I said, the Idaho ones seem to be more curious. They seem to want to play a little bit, and I like that atmosphere. But I also like the interactions because you get just because of geography, you get two different ones. You know what I mean? So it's really cool for comparison and you know research purposes. But yeah, it's I started Martha. I mean, the first time I ever went out was by myself, and I have only gone out by myself, with the exception of a couple of small ones with my wife. Um, yeah, Parkway. Unfortunately, it might take a little while to scrub that scum off of me when we move. I don't want the sense of the city anymore. So I haven't seen one to know. Martha, if you're gonna start going out, I will tell you this. This is one thing that I observed on this last trip to Idaho. Uh, don't do any kind of howls or anything or calls. Just do a single wood knock. Yeah, it is an ice cream truck. It'll probably drive by here 3 more times tonight. So kids can't get enough ice cream around here. Um, but yeah, Martha, just do a single wood knock. I mean, swing that stick like you're swinging in the World Series. Get a good resonance to it, and just go about your business. Just go about your business. I've noticed that when you're just acting normal and just going about your business, they feel comfortable coming in closer because your attention isn't on them. Your attention is on what you're doing at that moment. So just go about your business and just glance around every once in a while, and pretty soon you're gonna start seeing black streaks out of the corner of your eyes. You know, and these things are fast. They say cheetah's the fastest thing on this planet. No, it's not. It is not the fastest thing on this planet. Not by far. That is for dang sure. So, uh, after the whole Watcher incident in Idaho with the landscaper, he brought it up to me. He's just, I'm seeing these black streaks like in the woods, just a black streak and it's gone. Yeah, they're super fast. I've never seen anything in the woods that black and that fast. So, Martha, where are you located? Oh, and another thing to go along with their speed is when I had my sighting and I had my night vision up and I had the flashlight on it. For some reason, the flashlight turned it into like a deer stuck in the headlights. And then as soon as the light went off, gone. I mean, I saw a left leg come out, take a giant step, and it was a blur. So they're super fast. You know what, Barb? You know what's funny about that whole whistling contest? Is that entire time I'm walking around and I'm just giving them. I was whistling the whole freaking time I was there. Then I had the freaking whistling contest. So it wasn't whistling a song or anything. Just kind of whistling a call. You know. It, so everything is just kind of, now that I'm not in the excitement of it and I can calm down and think. Everything is kind of coming together with the dog sleeping in the bed with us after the tapping on the window. Um, Me walking around whistling and then having the whistling contest. It all is kind of starting to fit together. Parkway says I get different vibes from various areas I frequent. Most positive. One spot resembles a war zone. Uncool. Yeah, for sure. That it's got, when I'm in Idaho, I almost feel welcome out in the woods. When I'm out here in Southern California, I feel like I need to be armed and I'm in a war zone. You know what I mean? But I haven't had any bluff charges or anything out there yet. But Mason, I'm working on it. I got a bunch of jobs to do right now. I had to put off for Idaho. So now I got to get back on those. Um, get those done because they've been waiting. But after that, yeah, I'm gonna work on it, getting out to that spot. There's also another spot I want to check out too, which was the original area I'd chosen to go check out first before my wife wanted to go where we went on our anniversary, and that's where I've got all the barricades and stuff like that. So that funky structure. I didn't know on that structure video, I left a description on there saying I'm kind of teetering on that because of the bought firewood, but I think I've kind of tipped it a little more in favor of them because I've heard hundreds of stories of them taking things from people's houses. Okay. And that particular firewood is be the stuff that you buy in a supermarket, and it's generally wrapped up in string and that clear stretchy film. And there was none of that there. So those pieces had been carried there without that wrapping on it, which means someone had previously unwrapped it and probably stuck it in their wood pile, and these ones took it. So, and for a person to spend that amount of energy and time to build that structure is just beyond me. Because when I got to that area, um, I was tired. There was no way in hell I was ever going to go walking around trying to piece together this structure. There's no way. There's no trails into it. It's people don't go there. You know, people don't go to that particular spot. I don't know about the San Bernardino Mountains. So, um, yeah, I think Bronzini Bigfoot. He's also in Southern California, but he's in Redlands, which is right in between San Diego and me. Um, so maybe I can. There's another one on the list. Hook up with him and go squatching in his area. You know, he can come up to my area. You know, there's another option. So I mean, the list is getting bigger. So the list is definitely getting bigger on things to do, and I can't wait to go do them. So, um, I did try out the those video glasses. I think in one of my videos I said I was wearing them. Yeah, they didn't last. Didn't last. I think I should have waited till it was a little bit drier out. I think they got wet, and they failed. So it looks like I'm gonna end up. If I want to continue with that experiment, I'm gonna have to shell out the money and get the $600 orcas that I want. They're all waterproof and all that stuff. So, Mason, there's a lot of reports from San Bernardino. I will have to check that out. I will have to check that out because that's literally just a little ways away from me. No, sorry. My wife is texting me. No. Um. Yeah, I don't know about San Bernardino, but I'm gonna have to look into that. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Just talk to my wife. So, all right. Well, we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I need to go feed and medicate my dogs and let the rabbit out to run. So, I thank all of you for coming by and chit chatting with me. Mason and Parkway, obviously, will be in touch. Um, and I don't know, maybe Boots on the Ground with Barb would like to be part of our SRG group. Um, you know, who knows? Throw it out there, Mason. So, and yeah, I'm getting better at the computer. So I think I'm definitely going to start doing these live chats more. Everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming by. And I'll I'll update y'all on the camping trips with North County Bigfoot, and she wants to go camping up in Humboldt, so I think I might try and hook up with Brown Dwarf, and we're gonna start getting stuff done. So, all right, well, good night, all. Y'all have a good night.